As we mentioned earlier, ASU kicks off against Texas State on the road today. ASU alum Matt Berry will be on the call for ESPN. And don't worry, fans, the broadcast team will be on site for this one.
Yes, Keith, the fans were pretty upset when the Sundevils' first game on the season was called by a Fox Sports team who was doing it from an off-site studio location. Our Stella Tai has more on the remote broadcast in sports and how they are a growing trend.
The Sundevils cruised to a 48-7 victory over Wyoming on their season opener. However, many fans didn't like the decision Fox Sports made, broadcasting ASU's first game in the Big 12 era without announcers in the stadium. In fact, this wasn't the first time when Sundevils' game was broadcast remotely.
The origin of the remote broadcasting trend certainly was COVID-19. In the wake of COVID, I think a lot of network television people figured out that they could provide an effective, acceptable broadcast of certain events, like the first Sun Devil football game this year being an example, on a remote basis as simply a cost-cutting measure.
While it could be the network's priority to cut down the expenses, unfortunately, fans' viewing experience is compromised too. When broadcasters are not on site, they can't have a one-on-one interview with coaches or players. They can tell the audience how bad the weather is or how fired up the fans are, let alone some potential technology issues could be involved.
We ran into a number of times where the video that we were receiving was not in sync with what was happening, also with the play clock. And so there were a number of instances where we thought play had stopped because we thought we had heard a whistle, but it didn't. The play clock was frozen on our screen.
Last Saturday, the Sundevils had another home game at Mountain America Stadium. Lines of fans were waiting outside the stadium following a huge win in the first week. The game was on ESPN, who sent both announcers and silent reporters to Tempe.
It's just a lot better, and I think it comes across better when they broadcast at the game because they're being involved with the school, with the game, with the students. It's just about involvement.
I would not be surprised if periodic remote telecasts remain for the foreseeable future, because I think network executives have found that you can do a passable broadcast without sending your crew on site. Is it as good a broadcast as it would be if they were on site? Probably.